The year is 1990. Rico Suave, a song promoting sexuality, is an international hit. To the artist, Gerardo Mejia, it wasn't just a song, it defined who he was.
I saw others doing drugs, I saw others drinking. I wasn't that guy. You know, my sin that stopped me from my relationship with God was fornication.
That wasn't the only relationship that suffered. A couple of years after his mega hit, Gerardo married Kathy, who'd had their first child. By then, the 26-year-old, who gave his life to Christ at age 17, was deep in the world of pop music and stardom.
You're being surrounded by beautiful girls the whole time. Friends with power want you around. As far as me, too much, too soon. It messed me up.
We had what I thought was a perfect family. And in my eyes at that time, maybe that's what I thought it was.
Right after I got married, man, I went on the road again, and being married never stopped me. I was cheating on her from day one, but I did value my family. Like, it was the only good thing that I had.
I feel like maybe he didn't love me so much to not cheat on me, but I felt like he loved God so much that he wouldn't do that.
And I would take my wife to church because I wanted her to be right, and I wanted that blessing there.
Over the next 5 years, Gerardo's career had faded. He continued chasing fame and other women as the deceptions continued.
Going to the studio, going out to the club, waking up, in a hotel room. And I knew too, like, I carried my Bible with me everywhere I went. I wake up in the morning and just see the Bible next to my bed and go, man, I said, I gotta get it right. I gotta get back. But always with the excuse of, let me finish, God. Let me get bigger, because that one moment that I'm on top, that's when I tell the world that who you are. And
After 10 years of marriage, Gerardo had become weary of the lies and hiding. Feeling like he had nothing to lose, he told Kathy everything.
I remember my first reaction, and it's probably the complete wrong reaction, was, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I good enough?
She didn't throw anything at me. She didn't cuss me out. She was just quiet. And she walks off. And I just remember being in that room, looking up at the ceiling going, okay, Lord, let's go from here, because I know you're going to restore my family.
The couple decided to stay together, and Gerardo started sharing at churches how God had made him a new man and saved his marriage. While he was being celebrated, Kathy felt like an isolated victim.
Every time I went to hear his testimony, and every time I was in a church listening to him tell his story, it was hurting me a little bit more and more. And I'd just sometimes be sitting in the back and I'd hear everyone like just applauding him for coming clean and, oh, you did the right thing and look how God's restoring your marriage. And I was just kind of in the shadows and just getting a little bit chipped away little by little.
Gerardo spent more and more time away from home, sharing his testimony, while Kathy's loneliness led her to adultery.
I heard ding ding on my wife's phone. Started reading the messages. I can't tell you how betrayed I felt. She goes, what are you doing? And I just remember showing her the phone. I said, I know.
My whole world just crumbled at that point because Gerardo, he didn't have the same reaction I had. He was gone. He was done.
The couple separated. Kathy went home to Kentucky, while Gerardo went home to Ecuador.
I was at the all-time lowest point of my life. Like, I remember sitting on rooftops and thinking I'd just be better off if I just jumped off. I'd physically hurt myself. Like, I don't even know if it's even possible to give yourself a black eye, but I would beat up myself with my own hands because I was just in such a dark place.
A few months later at a men's retreat, Gerardo had a changed heart and went to see Kathy.
I'm really sorry. I said, I understand it's, I'm the culprit. I'm to blame for a lot of it.
Gerardo had a come to Jesus moment with our marriage. I think he finally took responsibility for the state that I was in wasn't all brought about by myself, that I didn't get there alone.
It was little by little by little, she said, and she met me. And now we're both in that path that God wanted us to be. If you knew us from back then, all bets were against us. All our friends said, oh, this is never gonna last. This year, we've been married 30 years. 30. And I give him all the credit.
We spent so many years of our lives just chasing after God. But until we finally just surrendered to God, could we really see what he could do? I mean, only God could take a marriage that was so messed up like our marriage and turn it into this, I won't say perfect, but I can't imagine. Sometimes I look around at people and I'm like, could they love each other as much as we do? Like, we have to love each other more than anybody else loves each other. And that's only God.